I just bought leaps for September next year. So I bought calls expiring 1 year from now. I'm going to show them to you. I'm also going to show the positions that closed last Friday. And I also sold a call on Bitcoin. So let's go through every single thing that I just covered. And let's talk about Bitcoin and the price it could have by next year. So let's jump right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today, as I said, we're going to be covering everything that went through since Friday from portfolio perspective. We got a lot of wins and we unlocked a lot of the capital that we had locked in the spreads in the earn tab. Now we used part of that money to buy calls for next year, so to buy leaps. And I also was able to find an entry point for Bitcoin for tomorrow, but because I bought these two calls for next year, we lost a lot of the capital that we had before available to sell both Ethereum and Bitcoin options. So now I just sold options on Bitcoin, and when we get back to that amount of money that we have to open both, then we're gonna start doing both. So let's see what we had so far. These are the options, the spreads that I had open that expired in September 27. So there is one in the middle there that does not belong, which is the August 14th, but we have the two at the top and the two at the bottom that are for September 27, and we had 3 out of these 4 that were profitable. Unfortunately, back in July, I thought Ethereum was going to be over 3,500. My bad for thinking that. So that one, we actually got maximum loss. So we lost 500 bucks. But for the other two, we made 10% on that. On another one, we've made 15, almost 16%. And the bottom one, I've made 46%. So overall, I am happy with these results. It does suck to lose the 500 bucks for the Ethereum one. So now I know not to be so optimistic on Ethereum for the future, but at least we did have 3 out of these 4 options that were good. If we go to the active positions right here, we have one for next year for March 2028, and this is Ethereum above 5K. I still believe that this one will be profitable. I'm hopeful that Ethereum by then will be above 5K, and if that happens, I'm gonna 300x my investment of 500 bucks. So that one will become 1,600 bucks. So the spreads are doing very good. I could go to March 2025 and open more spreads, but I decided to go with the leaps instead. Before we go to the leaps though, let's take a look at the copy trading because this one is doing very well. Now we have more than 250 people here in the 0DTE strategies. Again, this one is passive. Do you want to make passive income? There isn't anything more passive than this strategy right here. You just come, deposit, and earn. Same thing for the Phoenix. The Phoenix one is a little bit more safer. So you can see the forecast for this one is lower, 25%, but 25% is still a lot of money yearly. So 25% per year is still a very good number. For example, the S&P 500 does between 8 to 10% yearly, and this is on average, so the average of all the years that we have data on. And here we can see that even though the forecast is 25, we've been beating the forecast now because we are at 33% overall since this strategy started, and the average is around 1.5% per month. Now if we look at the 0DTE, what is 0DTE? What does that mean? Well, I've made a video about 0DTE options, and they're pretty much options that expire in less than 24 hours. So does that mean that this strategy trades daily? Well, if there isn't a good entry point, it won't trade. So you can see that you could have a day where it skips a trade. Why is that? Well, because the best strategy is to enter when you have a good chance to winning. So if it's not the case, then you will see you won't have any trades happening that day. But most of these days, you will see the number increasing a little bit more each and every time. So September is already becoming a very good month. We have so far 10% in the month of September, which brings the past 30 days to 10.08. And the overall P&L for the strategy since it started, which it started way later than the Phoenix. This right here started at end of May. So since then, we had made already 46%. So if I scroll down, you can see right here, I started in June 11th with the 500 bucks, which is now 654. So I've made $154 passively with this so far. And also the $49 that I deposited twice right here, they are at $52.56. So 7.5% on these two positions. So overall, the copy trading is surprising everyone. And again, this is super passive. You just need to send some money to the topics and to put some money into the strategy. I made a video on how to do that. It's going to be right here in the channel. Just look it up. It will be how to deposit on the topics and how to stake that money here in the earn strategy. Very simple. And for you to join, you can check out the first link in the description, join and register with that link, and that would help me out a lot. So now let's go to what actually matters. If we go to Bitcoin and scroll down a little bit, you can see that I sold a $66,000 for Bitcoin. Well, is that risky? That is risky. But if we look at Bitcoin right now, you can see that Bitcoin is falling a little bit in the 4 hours, and even in the 1 hour chart, you can see that we have a very big red candle, which is breaking the Bollinger, which does make me believe that we will see it go all the way to the 64,800 maybe. So selling a 66,000 was a good idea in my opinion. And now we are at 1.5% from the current price all the way to the strike price. So for that one, I collected $6.50 for $936 as collateral. And as I said that, now we have 313 right here in the portfolio because I bought 2 leaps. They are pricey because they are 1 year in the future. They expire 1 year in the future. So what are these leaps that I bought? Well, there you go. You're looking at it right now. The 2 leaps that I bought are the Ethereum $2,800 for September 2025. And we have the $70,000 Bitcoin call for September 2025. So why did I choose these strikes? Well, the 2800 was the closest to at the money strike that I could choose, which had a good price that was willing to pay, which was around $1,200. And this is exactly what the price that I paid. I paid $1,225 to open this position, and I had 1.5 contracts for the Bitcoin. As always, I do 0.1 because my size is not your size. So I did 0.1, and then when I had a little bit more margin to play with, and it got to $1,782. Right now, these prices say 15-16% loss. But again, it is just because of the spread between bid and ask prices. The ask prices are always going to be all over the place. The bid should be the one you should be paying more attention to. But here the prices are averaged out between bid and ask. So this number that you see right here, the P&L, does not reflect the actual value itself of the option. Again, the closer we get to this, if Bitcoin and Ethereum, they go up a lot, you will see that becoming green. And personally, I'm not going to hold them all the way to expiration. Maybe by December, maybe by January and March, if Bitcoin and Ethereum are performing very well, then I close them early just to make sure I have more money to deploy, maybe more leaps in the next year. So I'm hopeful that I can at least make 3-4x the amount of money that I deposited, which is almost 3K right here. So if I can 4x 3K, it will be around $12,000, which will be awesome in just a matter of half a year, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. So why am I so bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, I talked about this before, but if you look at the returns, the monthly returns for Bitcoin and for Ethereum, we have a pattern here that happens on every halving. So every halving, which now we are at the 4th halving, 2016, we had a huge Q4. So 14.5, 5.5, and 30% in just Q4 of the halving year. And then on 2020, we had the same thing happening. We had 27.7, 42.9, and 46.9% return on another halving year. And guess what? 2024, we're also expecting to have an amazing Q4 for Bitcoin. And a lot of traders, they have looked into the charts, compared the charts, and we are looking more like 2016 than 2020. And 2016 actually had a pattern that is repeating itself, which is that in the year prior, we also had a green year. So this is 2016 and this is 2015. 2015 was also a green year, which did not happen to the year prior of 2020, of the last halving. On 2019, we only had October, which was positive. Then November and December, they were not positive. But 2023, we had 28.5% in the green, 9% in the green, and 12% in the green. So this also reflects that we are looking like 2016 and 2015. So I believe Q4 for this year will be at least 40% in the green. So around 40% in the green will bring Bitcoin to $91,000, which gets closer to that number that we had before of 85 to 87 being the next target for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at 85 or 87 will bring already my calls to a very in the money state, which is what I want to see. This is why I bought closest to at the money that I could for both calls on Ethereum and on Bitcoin. And for Ethereum, we are actually expecting to the first quarter of 2025 to be good because Ethereum usually has fantastic Q1s. So you can see Q1 usually goes 60%, 50%. This is only 10% in the red, but 160% green in 2021, 3% in 2020, 5%, and in 2017, 500%. Again, these are early numbers, so we should focus more on what we have currently. But so far, we see that we tend to have very good Q1s compared to the other quarters of the year. You can see not even Q4 is as good right here. Not if you compare the average or the medium, Q1 is always the best one so far. So we're looking to end of the year for Bitcoin and beginning of next year for Ethereum. This is why we got so far away in expiration for the leaps that I chose. So I hope this is able to bring you some clarity on the choices that I'm making. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is just me looking at a chart and trying to understand what pattern is repeating itself, what Bitcoin or Ethereum is going to do, or how they're going to perform in the future, which again is just like a 50-50% chance, just closing an eye and choosing A or B. So don't copy me. Make sure you have your own strategy, follow your own rules, your own strategies. And if you want to do that, please make sure you use the link in the description and do that on the topics. As you can see, we have a lot of strikes for you to choose from, which you might be limited if you go to another DeFi protocol, for example, where the protocol might not have enough liquidity or have bad pricing or not even have enough strikes as a whole. So thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on Wednesday for another video, and to make sure that the call that we sold did very well and got some money in our pockets. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.